Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm sorry I haven't been uploading stuff. I just haven't had actual stuff to upload necessarily. But I do now. Until I actually start my actual animation stuff, I won't have very much interesting things to post. But I did have this idea for, basically just describing my design process and what inspires the various characters I'm gonna showcase. So this name is Jagger. She's the main character for my animation project. That is a working title, so I'm not gonna say what it is necessarily. But I'm just here to say basically what inspired her design necessarily and some of the details on her. So for starters, her species or race in the story are inspired by jerboas or kangaroo rats. I kind of use them interchangeably. Her ears are pointed and her tail is a bit more like a raptor necessarily than an actual kangaroo rat / jerboa, but nonetheless, that's what she is. I took some creative liberties, such as the more, what you call curved ears rather than rounded, like actual kangaroo rats. Her overall character and personality is heavily inspired by Daryl from Walking Dead, which the project as a whole is kind of Walking Dead. It's apocalypse-based. Original drafts for her name were gonna be Judith, in reference since Daryl kind of named her. But I decided to go with Jagger as it's in reference to Mick Jagger and kind of fits her better. So, her signature weapon, as you can see, is a whip, because she's also pretty inspired by Indiana Jones. And speaking of Indiana Jones, the hat she wears is modeled after my grandfather's real fedora in real life. Sorta, like loosely. Her overall vibe is supposed to be Outland, sorta, as her home is quite Western inspired, and her colors are kind of reflect of that. She's very dark colored and is inspired by one of my older characters, which is you'll see him in a minute in the speed paint. So some of her colors are very gray. Her red hair kind of comes from her rebellious side, and also I just thought it looked nice. Her tool belt has some stuff that she carries, and she wears one shoe or boot. It's more so just a design choice rather than actual character thing, but nonetheless. Her hat is actually her dad's hat in the story, and the shawl thing she's wearing is her mom's, with her handkerchief tied around her waist. Jagger is pretty spunky and rebellious type, and she can be pretty closed off. She has a raptor named Casherton, which is, maybe I'll do a video about him, but is basically in this world's version her horse. She has wire-like stuff wrapped around her tail. It doesn't hurt her, by the way. And her face is sorta more angular, like her eye shape, giving how she feels. Or giving her a feel for more her personality. Her tail is like feather-like, but it's fur. And females of her species have more rounded feather tips on the tail, while males have more pointed. Jagger is young, as she's only 19 years old. I didn't really want to make her underage. She's the same age as me, actually. Well, at least when this is recorded. I'll be 20 in October. Her rope is a bullwhip, which is the same weapon that Indiana Jones uses, and the reason I chose this is not only because she's inspired by Indy partially, but it's just easier to have on an anime than a gun. Her hair is tied up in like a wick style, given also a reference to her fiery nature. And that character down at the bottom that says Baruch is actually where her colors come from and a little bit of her personality. And now we plot the colors, and thank you for watching. So, yeah, that was Jagger. Bye!